Hello dear students, myself CMA Padmaja Buzruk. I will discuss accounting standards. Go to study note number 5, accounting standards. I will discuss AS11. AS11 is accounting for effect of changes in foreign exchange rates. This standard applies mandatorily in respect of accounting for transactions in foreign currencies and translating the financial statements of foreign branches for inclusion in the financial statement of reporting enterprise. So AS11 is compulsory in respect of accounting for transaction in foreign currencies. Now we'll see what is the meaning of accounting for transaction in foreign currencies. Transactions denominated in a foreign currency or that require settlement in foreign currency are called foreign currency transactions. For example, buying and selling of goods and services priced in foreign currency, acquisition and disposal of fixed assets denominated in foreign currency, lending and borrowing when the amounts are denominated in foreign currency, etc. So in all these cases, AS11 is compulsorily applicable, and translating the financial statement of foreign branches for inclusion in the financial statement of reporting enterprise. So in case if the head office is having a branch in foreign country and that branch accounting is in the foreign currency, then for consolidating the transactions of head office and branch, it is necessary to translate the branch financial statements, that is profit and loss account and balance sheet, into the currency of head office. Financial statement of reporting enterprise, that is the enterprise which is preparing its financial statements. So in that case also AS11 is mandatorily applicable. Initial recognition. A transaction in a foreign currency is recorded in the financial records of an enterprise normally at the rate on the date of transaction. So the date on which the transaction entered into, on that date, whatever is the exchange rate, that exchange rate is used for entering the transaction. This is known as spot rate. Spot rate is exchange rate as on the date of transaction. Approximate actual rate, that is averaging the rate during the week or month in which transaction occurs if there is no significant fluctuations, or weighted average rate. Initially in the beginning when transaction enters into, and if it is in a foreign currency, it is recorded either at the spot rate, that is the rate as on the date of transaction, or average rate or weighted average rate. If the exchange rate fluctuations are not much during the week or month in which the transaction takes place, then average rate can be used, or weighted average rate can also be used. After initial recognition, the exchange difference on the reporting date is the date on which balance sheet is prepared, of the financial statement should be treated as under monetary items like foreign currency balance, receivables, payables, loan at closing rate. When the closing rate is unrealistic, it is reported at the rate likely to be realized. So that means as on the balance sheet date, monetary items are to be converted at closing rate. Non-monetary items like fixed assets which are recorded at historical cost should be made at the rate on the date of transaction. So in case of non-monetary items like fixed assets, the historical rate only is to be used, that is the date of transaction rate is to be used. Non-monetary items other than fixed assets are carried at fair value or net realizable value on the date which they are determined, that is balance sheet date. inventories, investment in equity shares, etc. So in case of non-monetary items other than fixed assets like inventories, investment in equity shares, balance sheet date rate is used. That is exchange rate as on the date of balance sheet is used. You can call it as closing rate also. Now we'll see what is the meaning of monetary items and non-monetary items. Monetary items, money held and assets and liabilities to be received or paid in a fixed or determinable amount of money. For example, cash, receivables and payable. Money held is cash, assets and liabilities to be received or paid in a fixed and determinable amount of money. So in case of receivables and payables, you know the amount to be received or paid in a fixed and determinable sum of money. Non-monetary items, assets and liabilities other than monetary items are non-monetary items. For example, fixed assets, investments, inventories, etc. Exchange difference on repayment of liabilities incurred for acquiring fixed assets should be adjusted in the carrying amount of fixed assets on reporting date. Except as stated above, fixed assets, other exchange difference should be recognized as income or expense in the period in which they arise or spread over to pertaining accounting period. Depreciation as per AS 6 should be provided on the unamortized carrying amount of depreciable asset after taking into account the effect of exchange difference. So if fixed assets is acquired and for that if liabilities are incurred, that is if loan is taken for acquiring or purchasing the fixed asset, then if there is exchange difference on repayment of these loans, if the loan is also in foreign currency, repayment also is in foreign currency, then the exchange rate difference should be adjusted in the carrying amount of fixed asset as on the balance sheet date. Otherwise, any other exchange difference is to be recognized as income or expenses and it is to be transferred to profit and loss account. And after taking into consideration the exchange difference on fixed assets, depreciation is to be provided as per A6 on unamortized amount of carrying amount of depreciable asset. Disclosure under AS11, an enterprise should disclose the amount of exchange difference included in net profit or loss for the period, the amount of exchange difference adjusted in carrying amount of fixed assets during the accounting period, the amount of exchange difference in respect of forward contract to be recognized in the profit or loss for one or more subsequent accounting period, foreign currency risk management policy. So these are disclosure requirements as per AS11. Now we'll see one illustration. Goods purchased on 24th March 11 of US dollar 1 lakh. Exchange rate as on that date was 46.60. Exchange rate as on 31st March 11, that is as on the balance sheet date, the exchange rate was 47 rupees. $1 is equal to 47 rupees. Date of actual payment was 5th June 12. That date exchange rate was 47.50. Calculate the loss or gain for the financial year 10-11 and 11-12. As per AS11, all foreign currency transactions should be recorded by applying the exchange rate at the date of transaction, that is spot rate is to be applied initially. Therefore, goods purchased on 24th March 11 and corresponding creditor should be recorded at rupees 46.60. 1 lakh into 46.60 is 46 lakhs 60,000. So the recording will be purchases account debit to creditors account 46 lakhs 60,000 spot rate as on the date of purchase initially. Then reporting date, that is balance sheet date, the rate applicable as on the balance sheet date, closing rate is to be used. As per AS 11, at the balance sheet date, all monetary items should be reported using the closing rate. Therefore, creditors of US dollar 1 lakh outstanding as on 31st March 11 will be reported as 1 lakh into 47, because as on 31st March exchange rate is 47, which is equal to 47 lakhs. So as per books, initially you have recorded creditors as 46 lakhs 60,000, but as on the balance sheet date, because of change in exchange rate, the creditors now are 47 lakhs. Even if the amount in dollar will remain unchanged, which is 1 lakh dollars, but in rupees it has gone up to 47 lakhs. Therefore, the exchange loss 40,000 should be debited to profit and loss account of 1011. Entry will be profit and loss account debit to creditors 40,000. So on 24th of March, your creditors figure was 46 lakh 60,000. On 31st of March, 46 lakh 60,000 plus 40,000, your creditors will be 47 lakhs. As per AS 11, exchange difference on settlement on monetary item should be transferred to profit and loss account as gain or loss thereof. Now this payment is to be made on 5th of June, and that day exchange rate was 47.5. So creditors were shown in the books as 47 lakhs, but actual payment is 47 lakhs 50,000. Even if payment is 1 lakh dollars, if you convert it in rupees, it will be 47 lakhs 50,000. Now again, this 50,000 is to be transferred to profit and loss account. So profit and loss account debit 50,000 to creditors 50,000. So total creditors as on the date of payment will be 47 lakhs 50,000, 46 lakh 60,000 plus 40,000 plus 50,000, 47 lakh 50,000. So at the time of payment, your entry will be creditors to bank 47 lakhs 50,000. Now this 50,000 is to be debited to profit and loss account for the year 11-12. Now we'll see third illustration. Yes Limited purchased fixed assets costing rupees 5,000 lakhs on 1st April 12, payable in foreign currency on 5th April 13. They have purchased the fixed asset on 1st April 12, whose cost is rupees 5,000 lakhs, but it is payable in foreign currency on 5th April 13. Exchange rate of 1 US dollar equals to rupees 50 and rupees 54 as on 1st April 12 and 31st March 13 respectively. So when they purchased the asset worth rupees 5,000 lakhs, that time US dollar rate was $1 equals 50 rupees. But on 31st March at the year end, the rate was $1, which is equal to 54 rupees. So initially the asset is to be shown at 5,000 lakhs, but as on 31st March it is to be shown as 5,400 lakhs, and it is to be paid on 5th April. So 5,400 is to be exchange difference, which is to be added to the cost of fixed asset. The company also obtained soft loan of US dollar 1 lakh on 1st April 12, payable in 3 annual equal installments. So this is one more transaction. They have obtained a soft loan of $1 lakh on 1st April, which is repayable in 3 equal annual installments. First installment was due on 1st May 13. So initial recognition will be at rupees 50. 1 lakh into 50, loan is of 50 lakhs. But as on 31st March year end, if you convert this into rupees, the loan, $1 lakh loan will be 54 lakhs. So 54 lakhs and 50 lakhs difference, 4 lakhs, how it is to be shown. First installment was due on 1st May 30. You are required to state how these transactions would be accounted for in the books of accounts ending 31st March 30. So even if the loan, you are supposed to show this loan now as 54 lakhs, 4 lakhs is increase in liability. Out of that, current liability, that is which is to be settled as first installment on 1st May, is to be transferred to profit and loss account, and remaining will be shown, that is 2/3 is remaining, will be transferred to reserves and surplus. We'll see the solution. Ministry of Corporate Affairs has given an option for the companies to capitalize the exchange differences arising on reporting of long-term foreign currency monetary items till 31st March 2020. Computation of difference exchange rate on fixed assets. Foreign exchange liability was 100 lakh dollars. Exchange difference was 400 lakh rupees. Loss due to this difference in exchange rate will be capitalized and will be added to the carrying amount of fixed assets. Exchange difference of soft loan. Difference in loan amount, $1 lakh into 50 minus $1 lakh into 54, 4 lakhs. Since the loan is repayable in 3 equal annual installments, 4 lakh divided by 3, 1,33,333 will be debited to profit and loss account for the year ended 31st March 13, and the balance amount will be shown as reserves and surplus. In Indian Accounting Standard Ind AS 21, effect of change in foreign exchange rate. Objective: an entity may carry on foreign activities in two ways. It may have transactions in foreign currencies, or it may have foreign operations. The objective of this standard is to prescribe how to include foreign currency transactions and foreign operations in financial statements of an entity, and how to translate financial statements into presentation currency. The principal issues are which exchange rate to use and how to report the effect of change in exchange rate in financial statements. Ind AS 21 is on effect of change in foreign exchange rates. As per this standard, entity carry on foreign activities in two ways. Transaction in foreign currencies that we have already seen in AS 11, and foreign operations. Now in both these activities, this objective of the standard is to prescribe how to include this and how to translate this in financial statements, and which exchange rates are to be used, and if there is exchange difference, how it is to be shown in financial statements. Now we'll see what is the meaning of foreign operations. Foreign operation is an entity that is a subsidiary, associate, joint arrangement, or branch of reporting entity, the activities of which are based or conducted in a country or currency other than those of a reporting entity. Reporting entity is the enterprise, entity, organization which is preparing its financial statement. If it is having a subsidiary, associate, joint venture, or branch in a country other than its own country, then it is known as foreign operation. Now we'll see comparison between Ind AS 21 and AS 11. Forward exchange contracts and other similar financial instruments are excluded from scope of this standard. As per Ind AS 21, forward exchange contract is not to be considered as foreign exchange transaction. Whereas as per AS11, forward exchange contract and other similar financial instruments are not excluded from the scope of this standard. Factor for determining the functional currency of an entity is same as the indicator in existing AS11 to determine the non-integral foreign operations. There is no substantive difference in respect of accounting procedure. So in case of Ind AS 21, functional currency approach is used, and for factors for determining functional currency is similar or same as which is used in existing AS11 to determine non-integral foreign operations. Accounting procedures of non-integral foreign operations as per AS11 and Ind AS 21 are same. In case of AS11, there are two aspects: integral foreign operations and non-integral foreign operations for accounting. In case of integral foreign operations, exchange difference is transferred to profit and loss account. And in case of non-integral foreign operations, exchange differences are retained in a reserve, and that reserve is foreign currency translation reserve. Integral foreign operations are like dependent branches, and non-integral foreign operations are like independent branches. In case of Ind AS 21, there is an option to recognize the exchange difference arising on translation of any long-term monetary item from foreign currency to functional currency, and it is permitted. So if there is any exchange difference on translation of long-term monetary item from foreign currency to functional currency, it can be recognized, it is permitted. Accumulated exchange difference are to be transferred to profit and loss account in appropriate way. As in case of AS11, there is no such permission because functional currency approach is not there in AS11. Now we'll see what is the meaning of monetary items. Monetary items are units of currency held and assets and liabilities to be received or paid in a fixed or determinable number of units of currency. Functional currency is currency of the primary economic environment in which the entity operates. Primary economic environment means sale, purchase, borrowing, lending in that currency. Ind AS11 is based on functional currency approach. AS11 is not based on functional currency approach. This is the important distinction between Ind AS 21 and AS11. In this particular video, we have seen AS11, accounting for effect of changes in foreign exchange rates, and Ind AS 21, the effect of changes in foreign exchange rates as well as distinction between the two. Thank you.